Open source AI just closed the gap a lot of people thought was permanent. The best open weight model is now landing inside a few points of Claude Opus 5 on real coding benchmarks. Today we're breaking down why that gap is shrinking so fast, why enterprises are quietly ditching rented AI for models they actually own, and the security risk nobody's talking about when you download weights from a stranger's repo. Plus, a 3-lane playbook for deciding when to use closed models, open models, or run everything local. Let's get into the weeds on this.
Good morning. So for the last couple years, using AI has felt a lot like renting a luxury penthouse, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, it does everything you want. But every single time you flip a light switch, there's a meter in the basement just spinning, billing you by the second. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a stack of recent sources suggesting it might actually be time to, well, tear up that lease.
Yeah, especially if you're a solo creator or a small business. The big question we're looking at is whether it's finally time to ditch those expensive proprietary subscriptions like ChatGPT or Claude and just run open weight models locally on your own hardware.
And looking at the latest data from August 2026, the answer seems to be a pretty resounding yes. I mean, Mozilla just released their State of Open Source AI report, and the performance gap between these free open models and the closed giants has shrunk to, what, like 3%?
Just about 3%, yeah.
That's just wild. If the gap is that small, I'm looking at my monthly Claude bill and honestly wondering what I'm actually paying for anymore.
Exactly. And you see it clearly when you look at the coding benchmarks. Like there's this free open weight model out right now, Ornith 1.0397b, and it's hitting 82.4% on the SWE-bench Verified board.
Which is basically the SATs for AI software engineering.
Right, and it is legitimately beating closed frontier models like Claude Opus 4.5.
Wait, really? Beating Opus 4.5?
Yeah, actually beating it. And the craziest part is we aren't just talking about massive data center models anymore. Hands-on testers are running models like Qwen3 Coder 30B locally on standard consumer GPUs.
Like a 24 gigabyte card you just have under your desk.
Exactly, right under the desk.
Mm-hmm.
And it spits out roughly 220 tokens a second.
Wow. So that's like generating a full page of code in the blink of an eye, all totally offline.
Yep, completely offline.
It really reminds me of the smartphone market, honestly. Why pay a massive recurring premium for the absolute newest flagship device when a free download does 95% of what you need to run your business?
That's a great way to look at it. Because that model is running entirely on the hardware under your desk, the pricing equation just completely flips. Moving local isn't just about matching performance anymore. It's about
escaping the API meter. Right. Owning your infrastructure.
Exactly. Let's put some real numbers to that. One of our sources highlighted that running a heavy production workload on a proprietary model like GPT 5.2 costs around $2,300 a month.
Okay, so real money.
Real money. But that exact same workload routed through an open model like DeepSeek costs just $168.
That is a huge difference. I mean, beyond the raw cost, there's also the whole sovereign AI movement we're seeing. If you're listening to this and you've ever pasted your company's proprietary source code into ChatGPT, your data just physically left your building.
Oh, 100%. Relying on closed APIs means you're risking sudden license cancellations, price hikes, and, those shadow AI data leaks.
Which is a massive strategic vulnerability. But the proprietary moat was never just the model weights themselves, was it? It was that agentic scaffolding.
Right, the scaffolding. For a long time, you needed expensive software loops to make the AI check its own work.
It was like hiring a chef, which is the model, but you still needed a restaurant manager, the software loop, to actually order ingredients, test the food, and serve it.
That is a perfect analogy. But now, open models like Ornith have that manager logic baked right into their weights. They're basically self-scaffolding now.
So they can write a script, spot their own error, and rewrite it without you ever clicking regenerate.
Exactly. And open source tools like TeamX are letting businesses build those local AI agent hierarchies entirely on their own machines.
Wait, hold on though. This sounds amazing for my wallet, but downloading a massive, unverified 30-gigabyte file from a random forum to run my business code, that sounds like a massive security trap. Is it actually safe?
Yeah, well, the security reality is pretty sobering. Open model repositories are now a prime attack surface.
Supply chain compromises are up, nearly 4 times since 2020?
Yep, nearly 4 times. Because a model weight file isn't just plain text. Loading a model often requires running setup scripts.
Right, so a poisoned file can just hijack your machine the second you hit load and execute arbitrary code.
Exactly. Plus, these open weights can be fine-tuned by anyone to bypass safety guardrails. If you go local, you really have to act as your own security team.
Vetting weights, sandboxing your inference so it absolutely cannot access the rest of your computer.
Right. You aren't just getting free software, you're taking on the responsibility of managing that liability.
Bringing it all together for you, the value of OpenAI has really shifted away from a debate over raw performance. Today, it's about massive cost savings and total data control. You can finally run an AI company instead of just renting one.
Which leaves us with a pretty striking imbalance. Right now, open models account for roughly 1/3 of all AI usage, but they capture only 4% of the revenue.
Wow, so are we witnessing the permanent commoditization of intelligence? If foundation models become as free and ubiquitous as Wi-Fi, it leaves the closed labs with an unsolvable billing problem for those luxury penthouses. Something to chew on the next time you watch that API meter spin.
That's the state of open versus closed AI right now. The gap's closing fast, but the trade-offs are real, especially on security. Give it a like if this helped, comment which lane your workload actually fits, and subscribe. We're back tomorrow. See you then.